Hello! Hello! Ah, yeah. Are you the person whom is in charge of the Universal City Hall? Ah, good. This is the mad scientist Baron Aloha talking to you. Listen, Domkov, I have question for simple favor.
In the backwater reaches of the galaxy lies a tiny planet known as Little Moo that is used by Baron Aloha as his secret hideout. The Baron returned to his home away from home to rejuvenate from a recent beating he took at the hands of the feet of that heroic battle buddy known as Robert. He was in the process of inventing a better, stronger, more absurd way to overthrow the universe when Little Moo is visited by a stranger. In fact, there is nothing stranger in the universe than the creature known only as Captain Kabuki. Tipping the scales at a whopping 220 bazillion tons, he uses a kung fu grip larger than metropolitan Chicago to shred Little Moo and add it to his fantastic collection of bottled wonderlands. Using his keen sense of villain timing, Baron Aloha hastily departs the scene and lands upon a small asteroid. Unable to cope with the monstrosity that is Kabuki, he calls Universal City Hall and begs for help as his beloved hideaway is made into so much Swiss cheese. After listening to the Baron's plight, the interstellar dispenser of justice decides to send the only being capable of dealing with a menace such as Captain Kabuki, the freedom-loving, robo-heroic Robert. Tuned up and ready to go the distance, Robert leaps to the scene.
Okay, thanks for telling me, game. So, this is Jumping Flash 2, and welcome to part 4 of the, the Jumping Flash saga, I guess. So, what are the differences? Well, as you can see on the right side of the screen, you can actually see this little meter. That's a great little meter, because it lets you know, well, one, how high you are in your current jump, and whether or not you're actually legible to continue jumping. You know, like, basically, if that light isn't glowing, I can't do another jump, right? Now we're actually rescuing the Moo-Moos instead of the... Oh, wait a second. That thing I was talking about? Look. Okay. If you remember the last part, I mentioned that, in the third game, I thought they added this functionality to the game's camera to have it rotate. I guess I was wrong. Actually, this game added that, but wow, you can really tell that they stepped it up a little bit for the production. I mean, like, the first game was already pretty great looking thanks to its abstract and weird style, but this is even nicer. I mean, like, there's a much greater sense of location here. It really is great looking, and also you can see the little dude on top is slightly different looking as well. Not sure what's up with that, but so far, yeah, this game is basically the same. Like, it really is one of those sequels that's literally just more of the game, and I don't have a problem with that, really. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, really. It's just, yes, I couldn't imagine this sustaining several entries, and that's why I didn't. Even the third game was completely different in terms of structure. Oh, that's really nice looking, that little bit of water. But at the same time, I kind of wish it wasn't, because this is just really fun. Just a simple linear... It's not really a linear stage. It's an open-ended level, but your objectives are perfectly clear. And you know what? Let's go into one of these bonus stages just to see what they're like. I do like how right off the bat, we are introducing more things going on. Like, look at this. Like, these propeller platforms. I'm pretty sure it took a little while for them to be introduced in the first game, but here, we're getting them right off the bat. And let's see what these special stages are like. Oh, wow. They're identical. Also, you might have heard right there for a second. Yeah, Robert has a new voice. It's like nowhere near as good as the first games. The first games was adorable. Now it's just this generic, like, adult guy sounding thing, and it's just so boring. Come on, man, you should have given us the little kid again. He was great. Man, what, did he grow up? Did his balls drop between the 1995 and 1996? You know, like, was he exactly 12 and a few years old when they recorded that, and then my voice is all deep now and I want to work. It's like, no, that's not... to be fair, that does happen. I've noticed it happen with people, but still, you know. How I noticed it? Because I am a high school... Well, technically, I'm a qualified high school teacher. Now, whether or not I do it super often, well, I fill in when I have to. That's not really what I'm doing right now, though I'm still in university, but whatever. The point is, though, you notice those things, you know, when people's voices change like that. It's weird. Whoa, wait, is there a little dude in the water? Oh, I wish you could... Oh, no, there isn't, actually, but there's health. That's nice. Let's just try to get out of this level. I really love that ripple effect when you go in the water, though. Where is the exit? How am I so bad at the concept of video game There's the exit. It just wasn't rendering for some reason because it's far away. And it's so far away for a PlayStation 1 game to render.
Right.
Oh, God. I don't like that as much. Alright. Like, that sounds... I mean, I guess it's not as bad as... I don't know... Chip from Sonic and... Okay. I don't hate Chip's voice necessarily. It's just like... It's not... I guess it... No, it kind of is what you'd expect to hear from a character that looks like that. I mean, he doesn't exactly give off... He's not a very cute character. I think he has a kind of a gremlin kind of thing going on. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, look at how elaborate these stages are now. Like, this is the second level of the game, and we're already throwing in all of this stuff. You know, all these different assets and bits of level geometry and stuff that just feels way more alive. This is really great. It really does feel like a true continuation of the first game. So, you know, just think of Jumping Flash as a whole as just a 12-stage journey, you know, a 12-world journey, you know? Because this is just straight up a continuation. And yeah, look, this right here, those dudes, that's why I'm swapping the thumbnails. Because initially, that was actually going to be for the first game. But then, you know, I realized, oh wait, they don't fit. Yeah, you've heard the story before. So basically, they didn't fit. I thought that it would make more sense for the second game. Now I'm using them. That's why the thumbnail is all different now. But I'm still going to keep numbering them as if it's like, this is basically part 4 of a larger series. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. Good thing shadows don't work that way so that I can very easily land on these platforms. Look at that, already a little bit of platforming challenge. I guess this might be one of those sequels where they expect you to have played the first game, which is very risky to do, because oftentimes a sequel will... Well, here's the thing. It's funny. Oftentimes the sequel of a game will not sell as well, I find, but and yet it'll be more popular. For example, when I was a kid, I had no idea there was a Need for Speed Underground 2. At all. 1, I mean. I only knew Underground 2. I had no idea there was a Need for Speed Underground 1. And yet, allegedly, Need for Speed Underground 2 didn't even sell like half as many copies. Kind of like how Carbon didn't sell as well as Most Wanted. Although I obviously knew what Most Wanted was. I mean, come on. Also, I had no idea that Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 1 existed. Now, I'm sure Hot Pursuit 2 sold better because it was on more systems, and one of them was the PlayStation 2. To be fair, the first one was on PlayStation 1, but also to be fair, that same year of release, at least in America, was the tiny little obscure indie project, kind of known as Gran Turismo. So chances are not as many people bought Need for Speed compared to, I mean, enough people bought it to keep the series going, of course, but still, it is kind of annoying just how slept on that era of Need for Speed game is. Need for Speed games is, I mean, for fuck's sake, I'm a great teacher, aren't I? I follow my own advice very well. But really, it's disappointing because, you know, anytime everyone talks about arcade racers from that time, they think, Crash Team Racing and Ridge Racer. And then, you know, more sim-like racers, I guess you get, like, I guess, Colin McRae and obviously Gran Turismo. Colin McRae really isn't a sim. Colin McRae was never a simulation, right? It wasn't until Dirt Rally. That was the first one that was, like, genuinely trying to be more of a sim. Regardless, are we going to get, like, a cutscene this time? Like, an actual cutscene, or is it just going to be transitional cutscenes? Let's see.
Oh my! What a revolting development this has turned out to be.
Hey, Baron. Robert's here. We're saved.
Just because he's the hero don't mean you gotta root for him, Axel.
Jeez. What a grouch.
I see. So the in-between level cutscenes in this game are of the comedic intermission variety. I get it. Okay, so there's no real plot. It's just kind of funny things happening between the characters. And oh my god, I just realized there's actually a compass as well. And this is the level I was talking about, and you can actually climb the ladders. That's amazing. This is the level that I was talking about in, I think it was part 3. You know, when I was in the the Tokyo-inspired level. Look, now it's something a little more traditional. Yep, that's definitely Japanese. Shoot the kite. Can I shoot the kite out of the sky? That reminds me, one of the missions in Jumping Flash Free requires you to rescue this old lady's towel. That's pretty fun. Well, what else? I mean, oh wow, look at these two. Oh, they move. Why did they move? I don't know. Again, really interesting stage motifing. So you got this, like, traditional Asian, this Japanese, like, village type area, I guess. and yet it's all covered in snow and stuff. And the music, well, I mean, obviously has that sound to it, you know, with the plucked string sections and such, but it's not as pentatonic as you'd think it would be, you know, there's quite a few half steps and such. That's kind of the whole thing about pentatonic. There's no half steps, it's all like minor thirds and whole steps, and that's why it has that distinct sound that you hear and recognize, you know? I remember watching this, like, I think it was an interview or like a making of or whatever, one of Trivium's albums, and Matt was talking about how, like, oh, you know, it sounds Japanese probably because I am. No, actually, that has nothing to do with the fact that he's Japanese. It's just because every goddamn, most metal riffs are based on blues in some way, which is based on pentatonic, which is also very popular in Japan. That's why it sounds that way, Matt. Anyone could have written a riff like that, you know what I mean? Not saying his licks aren't good or his guitar playing isn't good. No, it is. But I'm just saying that, like, we've all written licks like that. We've all written shit that sounds super Asian-inspired just because of how huge that is in our collective musical culture, you know? Regardless of where you're from. I was literally in the studio, like, a couple days ago, and we were tracking this string quartet for, like, a movie or something, and literally, it sounded like a fucking Asian thing, and I even asked the composer, and she was like, yeah, that's actually a bit of my influence, and I was like, yep, no shit, we pretty much, anime music, no, just kidding. Funnily enough, though, anime music doesn't use that much pentatonic. I mean, it uses a lot of the same chords and stuff, and the melodies can be pretty angular, but there's a lot of jazz in there, too, a lot of really weird chords that take me hours to figure out, which is why, honestly, that's the main reason why I stopped listening to anime music. Not because it's embarrassing, because, come on, I'm a grown-ass man, I'll listen to whatever the fuck I want. I listen to video game music, like, most of the time. But it's like, it's because it hurts my brain, man. I'm tired of listening to a song, and I have to stop it on the second chord, because I'm like, what the frick is that? Why would anyone ever write that? Oh, by the way, special stages, yeah, they exist. They're the exact same as the first game. I think these are all the same assets, same music and everything. You know, it's really interesting how this kind of reminds me of the whole, of like an opposite of the situation of like Need for Speed High Stakes and Hot Pursuit 1 versus how it is on PC. Because the thing about that game is on PC, it's basically just an expansion pack. It's just, I mean, yeah, it does have a different career mode and such, but it's so similar. Whereas on console, they couldn't be any more different. They are completely different games. The handling, the game structure, the way the games look, the way they sound, totally different games, you know? And that's not a bad thing, necessarily. I think I got them, yeah, I got them all, so let's go ahead and finish the level. The levels take a little bit longer to complete in this one. Like, this is early game, and I'm still taking quite a bit longer, which is a good thing, I'd say. You know, they definitely upped the elaboracy of the levels. So we're going to move on to the second one and see what's up with that one. I wonder what that star and music icon mean in the loading screens. Well, not really loading screens necessarily, but, well, I mean, I guess they are because this is a PS1 game, but it loads super fast, you know? Is that the emulator? Well, no, because other games that I play on DuckStation do have your traditionally long loading screen, you know, like as long as it should be, I imagine. Some emulators are capable of overwriting loading screens like Xenia. Like, when you play Sonic 06 on that shit, because for some reason you don't feel like playing Project 06, you forget that it's Sonic 06. You forget that it's supposed to load for like 2 years, you know?
Yummy.
It actually loads very, very, very quickly, which is great. And of course we have our, you know, our Doom style level. It's actually, isn't this the same as with the first game, where the second level of the second world is the Doom style stage? And I can't keep calling them Doom style. I mean, this is more, it's not even Quake. Well, it's in 3D, so I guess it technically would be more Quake, because Quake was the one with 3D, don't you know? Because if you didn't know, the original Doom games, they weren't actually 3D, even though, blah, 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 you already know the story, right? Come on, you can go watch a million videos about that, but, and so is Wolfenstein, but whatever. But the point is, though, yeah, it's just interesting how similar they are, really. But you will notice, like, the slight increase in production value, and, yeah, I mean, I can't really say it's like a hugely tighter experience. It's just kind of, hey, it's more. And the first game was so fucking short, man. Like, if they hadn't made this, it would have been an actual crime. You know, the developers would have had to go to prison for making something so cool, but then leaving us with so little of it, you know? So I'm so glad this exists. And, you know, I guess it's cool if those other 2 games on PS1 exist as well, but, I don't know if I personally don't care for them that much. I mean, I prefer to, you know, Robert to Mondeo, as it's called, but they feel more like spin-offs, you know, not even though the core gameplay of Robert Mondeo is similar, it's just that the structure is different and blah blah blah. I've already talked about this, but you get the idea. I mean, what else even is there to talk about other than me walking around the stage aimlessly trying to find, well, I guess it's not aimless then, because I have a goal. I'm trying to find the, oh, there you go, a door. That's just health, that's useless to me. But yeah, I'm trying to find the final Moo, I guess it's called the final collectible. I guess I have to, oh man, don't start throwing maze-like levels on me right now, please. You know, I'm not good with navigating things, alright? I think you should know this by now. I'm absolutely abysmal at things that aren't like linear stages. It's why I don't like Metroidvanias. I don't know why. I can't tell if it's me just being inherently stupid, or there's genuinely some kind of physiological or like something in my brain, some kind of phenomenon that makes it hard for me to keep track of a location when it's not laid out in a particular way. Because right now, I have zero sense of direction. I have no idea where I am relative to anything else in the level, and it'll be a fucking miracle if I can make it back. Also, did you notice something? Did you hear that? For some reason, Robin makes this, like, weird... Like, it sounds like you're, maybe rolling down the windows or something in an old car. I don't know, like, the sound he makes when he... There's one. Thanks for pointing that out, game. Now I just gotta figure out how to get there. It's not through here. Maybe there's an opening somewhere? No. Okay, we're just gonna have to keep moving through here, then. I sure do hope I find an opening somewhere. I find, like, some way to get to that fucking carrot. Oh, it's not a carrot. You could have changed the color on that, because, yeah, I keep thinking it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. They're the Moo-Moos now. There you go. We can now go to the exit. If we remember where the exit was, I do know where it is, but whether or not I know how to get there, well, it's showing me on the minimap, which is nice and convenient. I wish it did that all the time, so we're gonna have to just turn around and... Oh man, I love how the enemies are just such a non-issue in this game. You forget to even have a health bar or like anything to shoot. And I don't mind that, to be honest, because so many games that, like, especially from this time, that focus too much on combat, and then the fucking platform combat craze of the early 2000s and mid-2000s. Jesus fuck, you know, I mean, even the Werehog from Sonic Unleashed wasn't the best way to do it. It definitely is one of the better examples. And I know I'm biased, but no, really, especially in the HD version, actually, it has tons of combos and stuff. But even still, I could totally leave him, you know, not take it or leave, just leave. Which is, actually, that's not why I decided I'm probably not going to do a Let's Play of Sonic Unleashed. It's just because there's so many cutscenes, and I don't want to do that. Like, the game is actually pretty simple structurally. It's just, it would be a fucking nightmare to record and edit that kind of game, you know? And now we're doing another boss, I believe, right? We're doing another boss. And then we're going to be done with the episode where we can keep moving through. And this game, I actually looked it up. It only has 6 stages again. So basically, you're only going to get like another 2 episodes after this. But you know what? 6 is better than 3. That's what I say. That's what everyone says. Well, it depends on what it is, actually, because there's some things where you want the numbers to be lower. That's the funny thing with how it works. Jesus, is that the sound he makes when he gets hit? He goes, yow. Like... okay, wow, he totally fucked his voice, man. Like, couldn't they have gotten some Japanese voice actor to, like, have, like, a squeaky voice? Even in Robert Mondeo, he has a totally different voice, but that's a different character, to be fair, even though it's fundamentally the same thing. You know, it's one of those sequels where it's like it takes place hundreds of years in the future and blah, 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 and you're all different character, but it's actually just the same game, even though he does control a little bit differently. And I just realized, fuck, that's the boss. That's over. Alright, that's going to be enough for this episode, alright? I'm not even showing you the cutscene. We're going to see that next time. But yeah, this is a bit of a spoiler as to what the next level is going to be like. A very interesting motif from what I can tell. It's quite cool. Can't wait to play that next part, though. But for now, I'll see you guys in part 5, I think, of Jumping Flash 2. See you guys then.